All right. Check one. Check two. This is it. Welcome to the Cannabis Coffee Hour. And this is how we are doing this today. I got a beat machine. I'm rocking this. Thank you, producer Tim, for all you do. All this good coffee, all this good herb. We're coming at you. It's gonna be absurd. We're going here. We're going there. We're staying right here without a care. Oh, I don't have any shoes on. All right, welcome to the Cannabis Coffee Hour. I'm your host, Rob Cantrell. And I got a great episode for you. This is a solo episode. Ducking in, taking care of business. The full moon has been out. Have you been checking out the full moon? Yeah. The full moon has been out. Came out last night. It's coming out tonight. And I've just been tripping out on the moon. I've just been walking around at night, and I've been catching a couple full moons, and it's when I've been really like trying to zen out and smoke some herb. Walking around. New York is becoming more and more normalized by the day. This is the Cannabis Coffee Hour, where I try to I do. We've been doing this. We're on episode. I should be a little bit more professional, but like I said, I have a couple guests lined up in the next few episodes. I thought this would be a good time just to record a solo episode, number 238 episodes. Shout out to Dan Licata from last week's episode at Milk and Roses. Shout out Milk and Roses. They couldn't have been cooler. They couldn't have been more mellow. And the food was amazing. So if you're ever in Brooklyn, a great neighborhood to get coffee in is Greenpoint. I always liked Greenpoint. I actually did a rap album. Oh, I did a whole hip-hop album over in Greenpoint. My friends, shout out DJ Concerns, Shawnee Slices. I got to do an episode out at his pizza joint out in Coney Island. I'll do that soon. My buddy Rondell has been telling me to do that. I got to hook that all up. The summer has flown by. Like right now, it's just gotten super cold. I got a great cup of coffee. This is, I did have to do a whole other cup of coffee. I thought I had a couple guests lined up and it fell through. And also my energy level, you just got to feel it out, especially with this DIY type of project of love that the Cannabis Coffee Hour is. Oh, that is some of the best coffee right there. I don't want to brag, but I've just been doing it for a long time, drinking coffee and making coffee, and especially with doing this show, I've just gotten more and more accustomed to good coffee, and even just gotten super snobby with it. So shout out to JBC, shout out to my man. Let's see here. JBC Coffee Roaster, and shout out Tim Mattson for hooking that up. Those are great beans. I'm still rocking them, and I love them. And this is like the second Chemex coffee pour over of the day. And the last one I did just so, like, the thing about the Chemex is that everything, when I do these meditations and stuff, it's all about coming back to the moment and being yourself in the moment. And you can do that in like doing dull things. And that's what's great about cannabis is like, it's great for cleaning up. I guess that's why environmental people are so into cannabis. Mother Nature. Dude, the strike is over. Or almost over. Strike almost over. I love that. I want to rap now and then, but I can't do it for a living. Let's get back to making TV shows. So right during the pandemic, I didn't do hardcore stand-up. So now I've been just like doing all these odd rooms, all in Brooklyn and an occasional road room. But for a minute there, I was booking some stuff. And then the strike happened. So it's just been going all in with this podcast and scrapping here and there, picking up side gigs here and there. But doing this podcast and I think now with doing this podcast, I kind of have it at a good space. I got producer Tim on board. And I just see how we can keep on bringing it up. You know, I got my new beat machine here. Shout out Pocket Operator, the KO. This is a sick little $99. Check. Just making sure these levels are all right, but it looks good. Oh, I could do this all day. Actually, I have been doing this all day. I've just been sitting here sniffing Tiger Bomb and playing with a beat machine and hunkering down. I got a hat on. I don't know. I got a good haircut. Shout out my buddy. I don't know if I should tell everybody where I'm getting my haircut or not. The internet's weird. But I will say, shout out Leal. Hella Jelly, Hybrid Sativa Dominant. I went down to the Housing Works, the legal cannabis spot in Manhattan, and I would say, yeah, that is the best. Man, I have come across some bunk ass bodega. I mean, it's just like the illegal cannabis scene is just, that's the one thing about California. It's a lot different. Here in New York, like the illegal cannabis is just like almost like nasty. It's just not good. I mean, it can get you messed up, but I don't know. And then the regulated stuff, I think is some of the best in the world. I think it's just grown in upstate New York, and it's a great place for farming and agriculture. And they've been doing it for so long, and now this like avenue of money. And I know the big problem is there's no dispensaries in Brooklyn. So everybody's going down to the Housing Works and a couple other spots. Dazed and the Travel. What's that other spot? It's great. Then I know about Gotham. There's like 4, there's just like, every day there's a cup, one or more. Not every day, but it's getting more and more open, but it's still slow. It's just wild to be in this time, of cannabis legalization in America. It's never happened before. So, I just, as I've said always in this podcast, it's just evolution. But evolution just takes a long time. But eventually it's got to come. That's like how the Chemex is designed. When I was working on the Chemex and I was doing the pour over with the coffee, shout out JBC Coffee. I don't know which one it was. Like, I'm starting to mix them up. Like, they have so many different good blends. And the ones I liked, I just powered through. And now I'm getting more into the darker ones. But they're not too dark. So I do like them. And it's starting to get cold. So it just kind of hits the spot. Like today, I thought this might have been like the most perfect cup of coffee I had ever poured in my life. And it just might be. But it's like this. It's usually the first or the second one is like the good one. And then you're just powering through all day. Much like herb. Shout out to Young Ethels. I did a spot down there last night, impromptu. Shout out the Narfather, and yeah, there's a great 9:00 show on Tuesdays, and these Will Perda. Let me see where that is. Young Ethels. Matt Vita. Yeah, shout out Matt Vita. But he goes by the Narfather, and he's always gnarly, and he's doing all this. He's always surfing. He's doing some gnarly shit out there. He's kind of, I think he's from Vermont, and then he kind of moved here in the last 2 years, and they run this cool show. And Will Purpa, he's an awesome comedian, super cool, funny, and kind. And they just got a great show. So they just put me up impromptu. And I also want to have those dudes on the podcast. So I went down there. Sometimes I'll try to like ask people to be on the podcast last minute. But like I said, I do like trying to do the solo ones and messing with the beat machine. And here's my Tiger Bomb. It really is Tiger Bomb. Yeah. What else did I have? The Strike. Yeah, Full Moon. Oh, what I've been listening to. Yeah, lately I've been listening to this band, Angel Dust. They are a pop punk rock band that's a derivative of Turnstile and this other band. What? Was that out of focus the whole time? See, that's why I do got to get used to this equipment, because I got these guests. I've lined up. I hit everybody up. So now I got all these guests lined up. And I'm still trying to figure out some of this equipment. You've heard and heard before. This is definitely a DIY situation. You know, I really got my own beat machine here. I brewed my own coffee. I set up the microphones. I set up the lights. I did the wardrobe. Did the music. I got the guest high. Yeah, Cannabis, this is Hella Jelly, which is always super fresh. And when I went down to the Housing Works, I was like, give me the herb that is the most like organic, grown outside. And they did say it was Leal, and it was the one that I picked out last week, and it was only $25. So it's like a $25 amazing outdoor grown eighth, like pretty much like a tomatoes, like probably the most organic tomatoes in the world. Speaking of tomatoes, shout out Joe Pera. He has a big special coming out. Slow and Steady, I think is what it's called, which wins the race. Joe Pera wins the race. He has a big special, and I think they're doing like a big screening at the Bell House, and I was going to probably slide through that and say what's up. I I love the Bell House. That's a great venue. And you gotta support your buddies. And Joe's been on this show. That's the most popular episode. Hopefully we'll try to get Joe back on the show to promote the special. But yeah, I got all these other, guests possibly lined up. The thing is, and I also realized that I did not like asking people to be on the podcast. But you got to do it. Right now, it feels like I got to do all this work, and it feels good to do the work. It feels good to stay busy. And last night, but now I'm a little bit tired because I've been going out at night, and I have a show tonight called Savage at Logan's Run, and yeah, it's gonna be a fun show, and I'm looking forward to that. So I'm working on all this new material, and I'm also, since like the writer's strike is opened up, I'm starting to write like packets and trying to get, and I've been talking about that other writing project that I completed, so that's got to get pushed through. And yeah, you set these little goals, and then you gotta do the last little bit, setting up the mics. It's taken this many episodes, and I still, like, as simple of a concept of just having a podcast that is drinking cannabis, is drinking coffee and smoking cannabis, or talking about cannabis, or I'm not really that huge on smoking cannabis on camera. Like, I've done it a few times, and I don't care. But at the same time, I don't know. The internet's forever, so everything now, like, you think about these things in a totally different fashion, because everybody's growing and evolving at a rapid rate. And I just want to be myself. Like, if I'm not smoking cannabis, I'm not smoking cannabis. If I'm smoking good cannabis, I'm smoking good cannabis. I think that's the goal, is try to smoke the freshest of the freshie. The most organic. I don't know. And also, I think this stuff should be personal. So now I'm thinking maybe I should hold off on telling that and just stick. But I don't want to be a podcast that's like about gossip. And I'm not that big into current affairs. Because sometimes I think that stuff, like, lately it's just like as a kid, I loved TV so much. But now my job is to, like, look at TV and see media. So at night, I've noticed, yeah, it's just best for me to do stand-up at night. Not all the time. I'm trying to be a little bit more pick and choose these days. After a while, that's the other thing that I've just been noticing about myself, is just like yielding to my own age and yielding to the moment of, am I still loving doing this, and do I still enjoy cannabis and coffee? Yes. And yeah, the whole gig. But also, like, non-thinking, it always comes back to, like, non-thinking. And feeling. Like, this morning, like, I thought I left my phone at the venue, and for an hour I couldn't find it, but I knew it was here. I just knew it. And it was here. I found it after cleaning up the whole room. That's what I always do. Like, I try to organize everything down to, like, the simplest thing. I think, yeah, with all this media and everything, like, everybody's kind of going minimalist, because you can only absorb too much. So much. And you can only eat so much food. And you can only have, and kind of relaxing into the moment is kind of how I've been trying to it was rainy a bunch of these days. So it was just like indoor hardcore. And in that moment, I did a lot of cleaning. And just getting in the moment and knocking it out. And just organizing the space. And then usually you find shit and you get things, I don't know, the morning is a trip, man. How everything consciousness wakens up. That's what I kind of think about with the morning. But I don't want to get too metaphysical or too spiritual. Like the tip I've been doing with like the full moon has been like, it's so surreal looking at it. It's almost like anything that I dream up, it's like, what? Not like that, like, it's crazy. I don't know how I swung it back to the full moon. Oh yeah, getting too metaphysical, or I don't know. There's something about being in nature, and I think being outside. I've been doing a lot of indoors, and that's what made me like go out last night, and that's what made me go out to stop and buy this show, and they put me up randomly. I wasn't booked on the show, and it wasn't random. Will and those guys are nice, and Matt and nice, and I always stop by. Like it's just a way to get my steps in a place I can work out material, and I like the comics there, and it's a great vibe. So shout out Young Ethels. There's so many great venues in Brooklyn right now. And so many great coffee shops. So I really want to like focus on getting some good audio for the coffee shops, and just touring around and then showing the world good coffee and good cannabis, and hanging out and doing a podcast that's like a little bit outdoors, a little bit foodie in the cannabis coffee realm. And talking about Zen, meditation, eating granola, eating honey, eating smoothies, drinking smoothies. People are drinking smoothies like mad. I know I have. I'm full, as everybody knows. And this must have been going on like 10 years now. It's just been ice, banana, peanut butter, oat milk, honey, cinnamon, turmeric. And lately I've been putting a granola bar in there. and then just, oat milk. And then blend that bad boy up. And I had one today. And I'm actually super full from that. And it had 3 cookies. I do have an oatmeal cookie laying around. I wanted to eat it this morning, but I've been good about, like, I was like eating all this bread. I went through this like super bread out phase. I was just carving out. I carved it up, and I was just getting full and weird and wide. I was definitely like in the shower, you could feel it. I was just like, oh. And just like the older you get, it's all about like keeping it kind of lean. That's how I want to go into it. I did my 7 Tibetan stretches today. But, I just ate all this bread, so I fasted for one day. I don't know if it was a fast. I just stopped eating by 7 p.m., and then I didn't have a smoothie until noon the next day. And I mostly just drank water and cannabis. But don't quote me, all right? I just did that one day. Just those nibbles at night, at night I'll just start, once you start nibbling, you just start nibbling all throughout the night on food and snacks and sweets. Just start going, and your body doesn't need all that shit, man. It really doesn't need that much. That's the trippy thing. The moment doesn't need that much. Simple cup of coffee, microphone, beat machine, all right. Tonight, let's unite. and feel all right. Out of sight. Yeah, rhyming is fun. I do it in my head all the time. I still listen to a lot of hip hop. Like I said, I was listening to Angel Dust, and then I was listening to Mike Doty's album. Mike Doty shot out the Tennessee Mike D. Mike Doty from the mighty Soul Coughing Band. I've talked about this on the podcast, and he was on a very early podcast. He was like one of my first guests that I reached out to. So shout out Mike Doty in his new album, Room Number 3. It's sick. It is really. I was just listening to like 3 or 4 cuts from it, but it's like mixed awesomely. And I know over the last few years he's had some really dope albums that had some like really catchy cuts that like got to me and that were like sick. But definitely on my YouTube loop for a minute. But yeah, these rooms are really well produced songs and loops and sounds that are amazing. And his is like poetry, like abstract poetry. So it's right up my alley. Yeah, Ghost of Room. That's what it's all about. Oh, look, that's a good sound. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I'm still feeling this thing out, so. Oh, yeah. Ganja. Drinking coffee at the Cannabis Coffee Hour. Yeah. Did my stretches, did 20 minutes of meditation, got all this equipment loaded up. I figured out that, hey, I'm gonna do a podcast here, and so I just hooked up the camera. I was gonna do we'll see how this video works out, but I was gonna do just an audio one, and then I just thought, hey, let me just figure out this camera because I got to do these ones next week. I do have like the most guests. Like I know I've been really sloppy. Like I got to not be hard on myself, but everybody's just dealing with this thing with the pandemic, and I got my new shot, I got my new shot, but that's on you. But yeah, I got some guests lined up. And I also am proud of this. No, I'm not proud of it. I'm excited and I'm having fun with the Cannabis Coffee Hour. I'm excited to check out coffee shops and excited to talk to my comedian friends. But I don't want to have it all super famous. Like I want to have just like, got to have some randos up in life. Not randos, but just regular people. And the thing about I think this moment, and just all the chaos and the mass confusion online, and I do think just getting more simple and in the moment, and getting your setup as simple as possible helps me clear the day. And right now, I do have it in a good space, a little bit coming together with the podcast. With the podcast, I really feel good vibes. So I appreciate everybody that's listening and smoking. Hella Jelly is an amazing Hella Jelly, Leal, Leal. Hella Jelly, 3.5 grams of flour. I mean, I had this on the podcast before, but I had to go back. And this is 2 weeks, 3 weeks for $25. So yeah, that's, can't get much better than that. There we go. I had to cross my leg a little bit. Sit back, relax. I don't have any water, so I'm like, this is like definitely, I'm on my like second cup. So I'm just gonna sip on this. And then the beat machine, I was rocking the beat machine, and I've been rocking this elbow. Oh, that's some great bass right there. Okay. Not sure how entertaining that is. you know, a lot of my comedy is like performance art, and especially my music. But that's what punk rock's all about. That's what I kind of dug about any of the like the Minor Threat stuff. Like the art should inspire you, and when it's done, with just such passion. Well, hey. So maybe it's the hat that's throwing it off. Like the camera's like zooming in and out. But we'll see. I guess it's working. I'm having fun doing this. But yeah, that maybe it was the hat. The Cyclones hat. That hat looked like it was the Boston hat. I don't know. I've been wearing hats a lot. But then I was like, it's time to take off the hat because I think it would just mess with the tracking. There's some type of thing I'm just still learning about this camera. Oh man, that was good coffee. Yeah, so these shows, I got this show coming up tonight, and then I also I have a couple other shows coming up in Brooklyn that I'm excited. But I'm just like trying to write, and like I've talked on this podcast, I'm putting another show together. So a lot of it's just like, okay, I know what to do. Now it's time to do it. And and that takes time and everything. Like I lost something today. Like you have like everything that you had. That's what I'm kind of hesitant on stuff, but not really. Because I kind of run a little bit wild, and then I also am kind of slow and steady in the race. Because I know the goal in mind. And the main goal, I saw it on somebody's t-shirt today, was just to stay alive. Like everything's going to happen that's going to happen in your brain eventually. You just got to stay alive and try to keep it clean and mean. And I think everybody's kind of wakening up to this concept. But it's always been there. People have been working out and all that. But then, there's the randomness of life. So then you can't really judge other people on whatever they're doing. Maybe, that whole idea of karma and how much you burn. I don't know. I was into astrology for a while, but now I've been questioning it a little bit. Like I do think you just have to keep your mind clear of a lot of the calculations and the drama, and just like I said with like rolling the joint the other episode, like I was all stressed out, and then I just did it, and it's usually like that little thing right there, right before you do the thing, that always catches me. But now I'm learning to kind of slow it down and then. Okay, I've been here before. I know how to figure this out. Especially with stand-up, especially with doing this podcast at number 200. And that's a lot of coffee and weed, everybody. 230. Shout out to Napoleon Email. I love that episode. The video was messed up, I'm still, learning one-man crew on that one. So, yeah. But I do enjoy trying, learning how to figure it out. I'll try to not make it, too much of a waste of a time. But it's not a waste of a time when you can bust a rhyme on time, like Sublime in their prime. so divine. Are you kind? Do you mind? I bust a rap just like that. All day, every day, tonight, yesterday, smoking, all right. What kind of beat is this thing? Oh, wow. Let's see what I gotta turn it down. Hold on. Drinking coffee, having some herb, got some lip salve, lavender, got a purple marker, gonna draw a spaceship. Aw shit, this is real live. This is real live. Don't you jive. Watch out. Listen to that bass turn out. Listen to it all go out. It's got a funky beat. Yeah, always been unique. I am a freak. So is your mama. Never wanted any drama. Just rockin'. Non-stopping. Yeah, I kind of like the minimal style of hip hop nowadays. Everybody's like busting on all the trap rap, on the new style beats. I mean, I definitely grew up with the oldest style of not the oldest style. Lately, I've been getting into Eddie Chiba. He was like the dude right before they started calling it hip hop that was doing rap. And then like during like Muhammad Ali was doing like raps. And then before that, like I saw these videos of these entertainers from Harlem in the 30s, like jazz guys that were doing it. So it's kind of always been there, kind of in the background. Like kind of like music over poetry. Like I said, like I always like hanging out with creative people because all those art forms, it does blend. It's not the same, but it does meet up in certain spots. Filmmaking to comedy to stand-up to lights. You know, that's what's so exciting about the writers union working out. I'm definitely pro-union. Where's my card? Yo, this is my SAG after card. I think we're still on strike, but I think with the writers meeting or like the writers strike, there it is. Bam. If you want to hire me for your film or movie. I'm definitely unionized. Always been unionized. Always try to be unionized with show business. I don't know. I know it's for the good gigs. It's nice to be unionized because it pays right and it's like consistent. And they won, and yeah, everything was getting sideways and weird. So hopefully this is a good sign of what is to come. But it is good luck, bad luck. I'm trying to like let go of this like future thing. And hope is on like that thing. And that's like this, Buddhist concept. And the thing is that you can just do it just without even doing it. I have been like stressing out more, so I haven't been playing my guitar and doing as much guitar. Like I've really wanted to, but now this was a big step, kind of hooking up this beat machine. Hooking up this beat machine. This was a big step, and getting this camera right and playing with the. I'll see what it looks like in post. I've edited every episode. This will be 238th. I have learned a lot. I think I could probably shoot a movie at this point. But now, as you've seen, Check out the YouTube page. I will say, please subscribe to the YouTube page. That's where it's at, the Cannabis Coffee Hour YouTube page. And I got a whole playlist of all the tunes that I talked about. Definitely got some Mike Doty up there, and definitely got some Angel Dust up there on the CCH Music Appreciation YouTube playlist. CCH, this is the Cannabis Coffee Hour. CCH Productions is what the Cannabis Coffee Hour is produced by. Oh man, I'm down to this. This is the second Chemex of the day, and that was the first but I made it almost like espresso. I can't tell you how good. I got a couple pictures of it, but I can't tell you how good this coffee was. And I'm not kissing their ass. JBC, they gave me a sticker. I got it on a notebook. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, I still write notebooks. As a kid, I loved TV and media, but I think because I'm doing this podcast, I'm editing, I'm doing videos, I'm listening to videos. When I get some downtime, I almost stare at the wall or play guitar or play. I do find the Beat Machine, this thing, it's not doing its thing. I haven't figured it out. It was really bold for me to kind of put this on. I'll sign off on something, but I haven't figured this thing out. I think it's the Pocket Operator, and these things are these little small samplers, and I'm just learning them. Oh, there it is. Okay. Wow. Yeah, it's sounding a little bit weird. I mean, I could play that beat out, but yeah, it turned mad fall on the East Coast. It just went crazy fall on everybody. It went crazy hot to crazy wet to crazy. Just everybody has colds. But I did get shout out to I got my shingles shot. I got my COVID vaccine. And then I got my elderberry. Dude, I got a fat bottle of elderberry. You guys know about elderberry? Elderberry, that's the life source right there. Especially if you're ever feeling a little bit down. It's like pure vitamin juice. It is so crazy. Some elderberry will knock out some funk. It's just a funky time out there, but a good time. Even during the bad times are good, and the good times are bad. But lately it's just been, I don't know. It's as crazy as everything is. I just feel like people are awakening and having a good time out there, and I just think there's potential. I don't want to put any hope. I just think there's potential. Everybody has potential. Every moment has potential to be magic. I believe it. All right, everybody. That's it. That's the episode 238. Never late. Right on time. Yeah. We're a little behind on technology, but I make it real funny. When I bust a rhyme, I do it all night. I do it like I like to write. Some lines, some scribble, all shit. Here's another riddle. Get down, get up, fill my cup, dump it out. Aw, yeah? What is it about? I don't know. All right. Peace. I'm out.